From cheaters' surveillance cameras, you and I are about to watch actual true stories caught live, documenting the raw pain of a partner shattered by infidelity. This show is dedicated to the faithful and presented to the false-hearted, to encourage their return to temperance, honesty, and virtue. Coming up on this explosive episode of Cheaters. Are you familiar with "I wore flat shoes for a reason"? What is this? What is this? What is it I can see who I want? Hey, I can do what I want. Raw reality television is brought to you by the private eyes at Cheaters Detective Agency. Hosted by Peter Pankey, we are bringing you another outrageous episode of Cheaters today. Meet Sairi Zoldyck, an exotic dancer completely baffled by her boyfriend's backhanded behavior. Feeling totally exposed, Sairi brought in cheaters to strip away the lies. Sairi says she met Tony roughly 2 years ago at her club. She claims the guy was always incredibly nice to her, meaning he threw loads of cash her way. She enjoyed that, and it certainly grabbed her attention. He was charming, too. So when she first started getting suspicious about his sudden movements, it happened on a Sunday. She gave him a ring to casually say hey. He casually told her that he was at the club. She asked which specific club he meant. He claimed he was at hers. She wasn't there. So why was he? Enter Tony Alvarado, age 36, a substance abuse counselor suspected of being heavily addicted to the company of other women. After getting the call, Cheaters operatives set up outside the suspect's daily workplace. Hours later, agents spot Tony Alvarado exiting his office. He jumps into his massive truck and muscles away. Just a few miles down the road, Alvarado arrives at a local gentleman's club with his European carry-all firmly attached to his massive, towering frame. The suspect boldly struts into the erotic establishment. Once inside, Alvarado's discerning eyes lock onto a very specific asset he wants to acquire. Clearly a man of means, the suspect isn't afraid to spend big to secure the nightly merchandise. Remarkably impressed with her assets, Alvarado seems willing to give this unknown, beautiful companion even the literal shirt off his back to secure the venture. Sharing a clear taste in designer handbags, the suspect and his new companion slowly adjourn to the dark parking lot to get a bit better acquainted. Always the chivalrous type, Alvarado opens the door for his escort before eagerly climbing into the back seat behind her. After sealing the deal, the suspect and his associate finally surface and tramp back inside the club. After securing the goods inside, suspect Alvarado quickly emerges and heads straight home, leaving you and me with far more questions than answers. Sairi notes he left his phone at her place once, so she sent him a quick Facebook message, just to see if he could check his home computer to realize where he left it, to help him locate his phone. Then she glanced at his screen to see if he actually read her message. She insists she doesn't normally pry into his life, nor does she usually worry about him. But when checking that notification, she made a startling discovery. His entire message history was wiped totally clean. Then came the kicker. While driving his car, she tossed her stuff in the back and spotted a random shoe. Finding the shoe, she immediately confronted Tony. She held up the mystery heel. It definitely wasn't hers. She stared at the foreign shoe in absolute, utter disbelief. What was she supposed to do now? Comparing the heels, she scoffed, having never encountered a real-life stripper Barbie before. She had no clue where it came from, but they were heading to that club to uncover the truth. Our investigators stepped in. They carefully staked out the treatment center where the suspect worked. Showing his own addictive tendencies, the suspect traveled down a very familiar path. He landed right back at the exact same strip club. But this time around, Alvarado's fix came directly to him, with his enabler riding shotgun. The pair sped down the road, eventually arriving at a nearby hotel with a shady agenda. Alvarado and his mistress headed inside to get high on each other's company. The two of them remained locked away for the entire night. Sairi had contacted our agency to secure hard video evidence of his ongoing betrayal. That mystery shoe alone was driving her completely insane. She wanted the pure satisfaction of catching him, fully prepared to drop-kick him to the curb. Armed with video surveillance and a shoe that didn't fit, she was ready. There was simply no coming back from this, so she embraced her petty side to crack the case. Let's watch as our investigators lie in wait outside the treatment center. The detectives caught a glimpse of suspect Alvarado heading out to grab something to eat, looking for an appetizer. The suspect drove past the strip joint and picked up his fun-sized companion for a quick bite. Ready for the main course, he dipped over to a neighborhood taco spot. Alvarado hoped to taste his girl's spicy dinner. While waiting in line, the suspect got an unexpected warning that Sairi was expecting him home tonight. With 30 minutes to make his delivery, Alvarado quickly pulled the plug on his little dinner date. He sped his companion straight back to the gentleman's club. Having gathered solid proof of Alvarado's ongoing infidelity, our investigators prepared Sayuri's brief. Stick with us. The confrontation is up next. With Alvarado's adultery fully caught on tape, our team delivered the painful intel. With her romantic dreams fading extremely fast, Sayuri braced herself for a bitter dose of reality. The host greeted Sayuri, asking how she was holding up. She quietly nodded. He reminded her that she reached out because of her deep suspicions about Tony. He explained how the team set up surveillance to keep eyes on him, then gently asked if she was ready to watch. She nervously agreed. The footage showed Tony leaving work, jumping in his car and hitting the strip club. Our team followed him inside and kept the cameras rolling. The video revealed them sitting close together, not even dancing. Did she recognize the other woman? She squinted at the screen for a closer look. She quickly confirmed it. On screen, Tony suddenly stood up and grabbed the woman's hand. They walked out of the club together, heading straight for a vehicle where they both climbed directly into the back seat. He jumped out. Wow! His shirt was completely tangled. What were they doing back there? She turned to Peter, desperate to hear his professional opinion. Peter figured they were fooling around. That lost shoe was absolutely a dead giveaway. That shoe was definitely the prime culprit. Let's watch him arrive at the strip club. It was the exact same club as always, meeting the exact same girl. The investigators tailed them. Trailing closely behind, they watched the couple grab some late-night tacos. They ate their food together. Brutal to watch. Outside, he made a call. The tape played the audio back clearly. She had asked him exactly where he was. He claimed he was at a business meeting, completely ignoring the late hour. She questioned the meeting and he shamelessly agreed. He stuck to his ridiculous lie like everything was completely normal. She reminded him that she had actually skipped her shift tonight just to spend time with him. He faked utter shock over the phone. He clumsily played right along. He promised to wrap things up and head her way as soon as humanly possible. She sarcastically questioned his business practices, even offering to join him there. He panicked, begged her for an apology, and swore he would definitely make it up. She quickly hung up the phone. Peter asked if she remembered. She did. It was obvious the mistress knew the truth. He was standing right beside the mistress, while lying directly to his girlfriend's face. The mistress absolutely knew, mostly because she actually knew the girlfriend, since she didn't care at all that made the mistress totally guilty. The surveillance proved this was simply his normal daily routine. You'd honestly assume the guy actually worked at that establishment. There was absolutely no denying the harsh, cheating evidence. Crystal clear, high-definition footage of them in the back seat, lying straight to her face, while happily holding hands with another woman, sharing romantic tacos with someone else instead. Here's where it gets real for us. Walk away or drive out and confront them right now. She deliberately wore flat shoes just for this. She was completely ready to pull up and cause chaos. The private investigators kept a close watch. They suddenly spotted him leaving the club with a completely different young woman. Oh, classic Derek. The confrontation immediately erupted into chaotic screaming. She realized he was actually juggling two completely different women. Now there were two. Peter urged her to stay perfectly calm and just demand answers. She was too furious to listen. We're about to see the gloves finally come off. The main rule was avoiding jail. It was time. Stick with me as we step inside. They had to move fast. The surveillance van pulled up close. They spotted the target. The suspect casually greeted the camera crew. Then he realized It was a cheater's sting. Panic set in as he frantically demanded to know what was happening. He kept shouting, utterly confused and cornered. Absolute chaos erupted as he cursed out in pure shock. Total disbelief covered his face. Someone shouted out. The attention shifted. The dramatic conclusion was approaching. They asked if he knew her. She had worn flat shoes, fully prepared for a brawl. The host explained the sting while the boyfriend stood there entirely bewildered. The girlfriend stormed in, firmly declaring that this was her man. She revealed she had already seen the incriminating surveillance footage. The side piece smirked, telling her she should have known exactly what kind of guy she had. The girlfriend angrily thanked her for the painful lesson and lunged forward. Now let's watch the real evidence drop. The mistress dropped a bomb about multiple women. There were actually 2 other affairs. He was sleeping with 2 co-workers while denying his actual girlfriend basic cash. He constantly rejected her requests for financial help, choosing instead to blow it on random women he barely knew. The mistress played the tape again, proving there was yet another secret lover involved here. But those were only the 2 affairs they had managed to uncover at that specific moment. The girlfriend was absolutely stunned, realizing the 2 discovered affairs were literally just the tip of the iceberg. She furiously demanded to know if these other girls were her friends. She screamed, begging to know how many more existed. The host redirected them, bringing up a tiny shoe previously found hidden away inside his suspect vehicle. He had lied about the shoe. Then the mistress admitted he spent $5,000 on her in 1 single week. $5,000 in a single week, while his loyal girlfriend had been desperately begging for basic car repair money. She needed Geico insurance cash, but he blew $5,000 on his side piece instead. $5,000. The massive amount sparked pure chaos. Security guards quickly stepped in, yelling at them to relax. Security struggled to physically separate the 2 furious women. The girlfriend wildly urged her friend to attack him. Someone grabbed pepper spray. He scrambled backward, begging for mercy. You have to ask yourself, was she furious about the betrayal or just the lost cash? Both. The cheating boyfriend muttered that she only ever cared about the cash. He claimed she only cared about herself, asking why he should even worry. The screaming erupted across the parking lot as she accused him of being entirely heartless. She demanded to know how many women. His answer was plenty. The girlfriend refused to drop it, screaming to find out what plenty actually meant. He mocked her, insulted her sister, and yelled out for Tom. He ordered his friend over there. The friend told him to step aside. Let's rewind to when this started. He insisted the relationship was always just about the cash, claiming he finally saw her true colors out there. $5,000. The side chick stepped in, swearing she had absolutely no idea they were a real couple. The main girlfriend snapped back, claiming she had clearly been there first. Obviously, he had been sleeping around. He had completely humiliated both of these women. The obvious question was, what happens next? A bystander stepped in, saying they just wanted to keep her calm and get her back home safely before things escalated. Otherwise, the cheating boyfriend would probably try leaving with the side piece instead. The angry girlfriend dared him to try it. One bystander admitted they had baggage, but nothing this messy. As someone shouted for Tony, he asked if they were seriously leaving to go home. She sarcastically asked where home was, insisting she was just going back inside to work. She stated she would work until she made $5,000 in 1 single night. The furious woman threatened to beat him. He quickly dismissed her threats, calling her complete bluff, but she doubled down, stepping closer to challenge him. The heated back-and-forth argument carried on. Security finally warned them not to fight. She announced she was leaving to work. We saw the surveillance video together. She meant real money. The cheater confessed to even worse betrayal, pushing everyone straight past their breaking point. She was utterly left speechless. Someone pointed out, the investigation exposed cheaters, officially crowning this guy the absolute godfather of infidelity. The shattered girlfriend desperately asked the crew what she should do next. A manager walked over, warning that the chaos had to end, and everyone must leave. The host agreed it was over. She complained her belongings were still upstairs, so the team offered to go retrieve them. They told the victim to stay outside and avoid more trouble. The host reminded her the suspect never actually denied 5 women. She nodded, completely aware of the truth. The investigator answered her earlier question, strongly suggesting she just pack up and move on. He advised her to focus on her career and leave him behind. You and I can see how nasty this got. Then came the shocking news of arrests. The guy panicked. She just wanted her stuff so she could leave. He tried to calm his friend down, promising to cover the bail money. He shoved them away, swearing he didn't need help taking the guy down. He warned that his girlfriend would talk from behind bars. He kept yelling that he wanted a piece of Tony right then. The guard offered to remove the cuffs if he promised to behave himself. He gave Tony his word that he would finally calm down. He demanded a clear yes. They begged the officers not to arrest him, insisting they had control. He urged Tony to just take a walk and cool off. He assured him there wouldn't be any animosity between them, admitting that in his shoes, he would have done the exact same thing. He told him to let the young, pretty girl go do her own thing. He called her crazy, asking his buddy to wait while he grabbed her. They finally decided to leave. He said his goodbyes, making sure everyone was totally cool. He declared they would make some good money that night. He ordered them to the back. He quickly said his thanks and rushed everyone to leave. The suspect angrily complained about the camera crew crowding his face. Disgusted, he aggressively demanded the entire camera crew to back away. Let's stick together as we revisit a classic confrontation from our archives. She recalled the dark thoughts running through her head, completely infuriated. She admitted to seeing completely red, furious that Eric would dare betray her like that. Following the messy confrontation, Sairi struggled deeply with Alvarado's unfaithfulness. Later, we reveal if she is down for the count. But first, you and I are going to sit down with former client Nifa Bennett as she shares her story. She described the awful moment she finally saw them together in person. She confessed wanting enough superhuman strength to lift a parked car and smash it right over their guilty heads. She dreamed of flicking the mistress like a flea. Those exact dark thoughts rushed through her mind as she saw pure red. She maintained that nobody does that to her, especially since Eric knew better. He nervously asked what was happening. The startled mistress frantically demanded to know who the angry woman was. His fiancée, she declared. The mistress repeated the word, stunned. She swore she knew nothing about any engagement. She scoffed, revealing they had been firmly together for 3 years. She loudly cursed the filthy cheater. She mocked the mistress as a snack-sized Barbie. She repeated the cruel Barbie insults. He desperately begged her to stop causing such a huge scene. He pleaded with her to drop the dramatic public act. She screamed profanities exposing the serial cheater. We have to laugh at how quickly his tough guy act completely crumbled the second he got caught. You and I are about to watch something finally click in his head, making him question his reckless actions. Because honestly, finding a secret romantic partner hanging around a public bus stop makes everyone wonder about their true intentions. What kind of real benefits could anyone possibly get there? He was caught red-handed, signing loan papers to get her a shiny new car. He loudly denied being her actual man. She insisted they were together, while he flatly denied the whole relationship. He claimed they hadn't been dating for 6 months, insisting he was just generously helping her buy a vehicle. But the obvious question remained. Why help this mistress buy a car? The chaos left everyone totally confused. The truth about Fiona's husband quickly surfaced. He was doing strange things for her, even though the main girlfriend considered this scandalous mistress an absolute joke. She aggressively claimed she could easily crush her rival. It was never a real competition. The core issue was simply Eric and his complete lack of loyalty. Everyone wondered where his loyalty truly resided, with the bus stop Barbie or with his strong, full-sized partner. It became clear she absolutely needed this confrontation right then to finally get some professional closure. Ultimately, the cheating suspect brought this entire disastrous situation upon himself. The story of their meeting unfolded. She had been coming down the elevator for lunch one afternoon when he boldly approached her. They had been talking ever since, even sharing regular romantic lunch dates together. At the time, she genuinely believed she and Eric were in a very solid place. Because he was a full-time musician, she would often accompany him to his late studio rehearsals. She felt he was still doing everything he originally did to win her trusting heart. This was a relief, since earlier in their relationship, his romantic efforts had completely stopped. Unfortunately, she sincerely believed Eric was going above and beyond to prove she was the perfect woman for him. She thought he was her ideal man, claiming he put in effort, and their bedroom intimacy was astronomical. She bragged that he was getting everything he desired every night, calling it a truly beautiful thing. Let's watch as Sairi gets ready to make some massive changes in her complicated life. Her absolute top priority is to permanently rid herself of Tony and finally move forward. Despite the intense heartbreak, Sairi claims she feels incredibly relieved knowing the truth, remaining grateful to our show for saving her from wasting any more time. With such an awful, malicious man, Tony furiously argues that Sairi ignored his needs, claiming he grew sick of her spreading her affection everywhere else, leaving absolutely no love for him. Tony bluntly states she's a stripper. He expected a wilder partner, insisting he deserved someone much freakier. Our investigators were unable to secure interviews with the suspect's shadowy companions. Remember, if we aren't getting our weekly television programming straight from Goldstein's, then we will both lose out.